Live from Johannesburg in South Africa. The political landscape in South Africa has been a hive of activity this week. On Tuesday night, the Patriotic Alliance party leader Gayton McKenzie suspended his deputy Kunene from his role as the City of Johannesburg's member of the Mayoral Council for transport and from the party political activities for 1 month, pending an investigation into his presence at the home of a suspect in the murder case of well-known DJ Sumbody during a police raid on Monday. Also on Monday, President Cyril Ramaphosa fired the former Higher Education and Training Minister, Dr. Nobuhle Nkabane. On the same night, Ramaphosa suspended the South Gauteng Province National Prosecuting Authority head Adv Andrew Chauke pending an inquiry into his fitness to hold office. And also on Tuesday, the Umkhonto Wesizwe Party officially filed a no-confidence motion against President Cyril Ramaphosa. To look at these developments and more, we are joined on the line by Dr. Nzigelelo Breakfast, who is leading the Center for Security, Peace and Conflict Resolution at the Nelson Mandela University. Dr. Breakfast, good afternoon, and thank you for joining us on Africa Update.
Thank you very much for having me.
Now, this was a mouthful, and watching everything unfold from the beginning of the week, it was a jam-packed media week and just a response. Talk to us about the suspensions, firstly, of Kunene, Patriotic Alliance Deputy President and a member of the Mayoral Committee on Transport. How does he justify his being at a place where somebody is being arrested? He doesn't know this person, and without giving us information as to who these journalists he was assisting were?
Yeah, I think his party, Patriotic Alliance, has been dealt with a blow in a big way, given the fact that it has been doing very well of late, posing a serious threat to the Democratic Alliance. Also, taking a strategic advantage of some of the gaps in the public discourse, in particular with regard to the issue of foreign nationals. So this is a bit of a setback. I could hear the leader of the party, Gayton. He was in pain when he was explaining the decision that he made to put the person in question on a special leave for about a month, pending the investigation that has been instituted. At the moment, it's quite difficult to see which way the wind is blowing. I don't want to preempt the outcome, but I think there are a lot of questions that people are grappling with. And also, in the light of that is the revelations that were unveiled by General Nkabane about institutionalization of corruption within SAPS, and subsequent to that, the people have been arrested regarding the shooting of the late DJ Sumbody. So it's really an interesting kind of event, but the party of Kunene has been really dealt with a blow in a big way, and I mean the key question is whether it will recover from this or not.
Now, a lot happened in the political space in the past few days. Dr. Nkabane fired as Higher Education and Training Minister. The South Gauteng NPA head, Adv Andrew Chauke, is suspended. What do you make of these developments? And also, just on the NPA head, Andrew Chauke's suspension, where just, I think it was yesterday, if I'm not mistaken, a former head of NPA saying that the advocate was used as a scapegoat.
So you're raising two questions at once, so I'll deal with them one by one.
Yes, please.
First of all, let me address the issue of the outgone minister. I think I saw that coming because the minister was given an order. I don't know whether at short notice or at the 11th hour when she was asked not to take a trip to Asia, China. To me, that was a sign that the worst was about to come. So I saw that one coming. But I think the straw that broke the camel's back was the statement that she made over the weekend last week on Sunday in the Eastern Cape, when she said that there is no bad blood between herself and the president and the ANC, as if now the ANC was turning a blind eye to the allegation that has been leveled against her of lying under oath. So I think that might have angered the president, or the following day the president decided to let go of her. But I think people have been appointed, Buti, Manamela, and the deputy Buti. I think he deserves that, but we'll see how it goes in terms of how he will be executing his duties. But he has held the position of deputy minister for a very long time. And then the second issue is about the suspension of the advocate. You see, again, I link that to the allegations that were made by the general of a case. And though he pitched his allegations in general, but now we have seen, I don't know, a major shake-up, if I can put it like that, within the security apparatus. And this is quite interesting. But I think, in as much as this is a very important decision to put him on a suspension, but at the same time, I think a whole lot more the president needs to do if he wants to cool us off as citizens, because the public trust between the powers that be and citizens has been broken down.
Also, Dr. Breakfast, just in terms of the timing, firstly, when we go back and at the NPA director, Advocate Shamila Batoyi, writing to President Cyril Ramaphosa 2 years ago to request that Chauke be suspended, what's your take on President Ramaphosa's, promises of a cleanup and just his reaction time? You've given the president a rating of 3 out of 10. Okay, I'd like you to unpack that for us very briefly.
So at the glance, the president, when he came into power, he made a lot of commitments. In fact, I think he overcommitted. He says all sorts of things in theory, but does very little in practice. If yes, there have been good things that he has done in the beginning in terms of the rolling out of the changes, but those changes have not achieved their intended objectives. That's why there are still allegations about this and that. And also, if you look at the people that have been found wanting regarding state capture, there are very few. Only, I think, one person was found guilty last week.
Yes,
and what about other people? Yes.
And it happened coincidentally, I guess.
Precise, but also look at the findings. The findings of the Zondo commission, they are still gathering dust, in particular the ones that are affecting ANC members. Gwede Mantashe is on record having said that the ANC needs to put those findings on hold because those findings will hurt the party, meaning that the first thing that comes to the minds of senior ANC leaders is the ANC, not the country. But the president has been hamstrung or embroiled into the factional battles of the ANC, even in terms of the application of, the step-aside principle. It has been used, to sideline certain people aligned to him, but not being used across the board. I mean, there have been people who have not been affected by this step-aside. So because of that, I don't think that he has risen up to the expectations of people of this country.
Now, Dr. Breakfast, there's also been opposition to the appointment of Professor Feroz Kachalia as acting police minister. Opposition parties saying that the appointment violates the constitution. And the EFF going as far as announcing that the party is taking President Ramaphosa to the Constitutional Court to declare him a constitutional delinquent for appointing acting police minister Kachalia. Firstly, does the EFF have a case? And then secondly, what is wrong with Kachalia's suitability to be acting police minister?
I don't think the EFF and MK have a case. I'll tell you why. Because the Constitution, you see, we're not talking about employment here, where you go through the process of being shortlisted and blah, blah, blah. This person is appointed by the president, and there is a provision for the president to do that. I'm not a spokesperson of the president. I'm just outlining what is stipulated in the Constitution. So he is within his right to do that. I don't think that he's off the mark. So I don't think that they have a winnable case here. But also, if you say that the president cannot put the other minister on special leave, I think also you are off the mark, because we cannot be a country that is gullible, whereby a person steps up to the plate and makes all sorts of allegations, and we are expected to accept them uncritically. That is irresponsible. We need to engage with any claims which are made about anyone. There's this thing called the law of natural justice. So people have a right, to present their case. So I think the president has done that. Yes, I understand politics is a game of optics, but at the same time, when you are a leader of the country, you have to follow the process so that you appear to be fair and square.
And finally, just very briefly, the Umkhonto Wesizwe Party, they've submitted a request to the Speaker to consider its motion of no confidence in President Cyril Ramaphosa, among other things, failing to fire Police Minister Senzo Mchunu. Your take?
Well, they are within their right to do that. Remember, they are number 3 in the lineup of the biggest political parties. One of their responsibilities is to provide oversight. So it's fine if they do that. But again, I don't think that this motion will take off the ground and fly. I think it will be shot down by ANC and other coalition partners of the ANC.
Dr. Breakfast, always a pleasure chatting to you. Thank you so much for joining us on Africa Update. That's Dr. Ntsikelelo Breakfast, who is leading the Center for Security, Peace and Conflict Resolution at the Nelson Mandela University, joining us on the line. Our news headlines up next with Matapelo Mohapi.